Yes, Lindsay.
Yes. See what I did there? Welcome back to The Grand Lady. I'm Lindsay, and together with my husband Jim, we're renovating a 19th century Queen Anne Victorian in Syracuse, New York. Hey, I'm really sorry it's been a while since I put a video out. I'll tell you more about what's been happening in next week's episode. But this week we have a really fun one, and I hope you enjoy it and enjoy all the progress we've made. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. I've been continuing to work on this round window. I didn't permanently put the glass in because I knew Randy needed to work on it to add some extension to the frame so that the edges would meet up the trim both on the exterior and the interior walls.
Looks like marshmallow cream.
So I'm just cleaning it up a little bit since I have the time and adding a few coats of primer to the frame. Since the window frame itself is pretty narrow, it won't span between the interior and the exterior walls, so we have to put some extensions on it. Randy first started cutting out curved pieces to make the extensions for the frame.
I know he's a skilled carpenter, but I'm keeping an eye at him because look at how close he's cutting to one of my pocket doors. Eek!
I might be able to do this with the router.
Like the edge?
The outside edge and the inside edge. I get a router with a bearing to cut square.
Oh, and you need that to be 5 inches deep, huh?
Yeah, so we'll just do it in layers.
Got enough wood for that?
I'll make enough wood.
You'll make enough wood? Wait a second. How do you make wood?
I just go through the pile and see what I want to use.
How many woods? How many woods would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck
Woodchuck all the wood. We make Jim crazy and hang these pocket doors while he's gone.
Yes. Why would that make him crazy?
Because he wanted to put epoxy in them and it's not.
Oh, I see. Shh, don't tell him. I'm just going to delete that right now. So, Jim.
Yes, Lindsay.
Randy and you, most of the time, agree or come to an agreement after discussion. But I feel like I'm in the middle of a decision about these pocket doors that I wanted to ask you about. Because Randy doesn't think that we need to epoxy these to hang them back up. And you do. And it doesn't seem like you two are coming to a consensus about what should be done for these doors.
Well, when we took it off, it looked pretty weak to me, so I haven't looked at it for a couple of months, but
Shall we pull one down and see what it looks like?
it's probably the best idea.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
That's the bottom.
Well, let's, I'm gonna grab the chair out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the top of the door where...
Hangers have to be fastened in.
See that one?
And you see, these are all pretty buggered. These are the old screw holes.
Yeah.
And they've all been enlarged with a few exceptions. That's good, that's good, that's good. This, and this are pretty wonky, and I don't know what went in there.
This is one of two pieces that hang on the top of this door that then slides through a track that's mounted to the header over the doorway.
Almost deep enough. That one's still not.
Maybe it never was.
Could be. It's a pretty heavy door.
So how do you want to do the epoxy? What would you do?
Well, get these cleaned out, and then we can drizzle some epoxy into them, and then add some wood into the epoxy and drive it down. Like we do with the screw holes on the hinges where they were bad.
Yeah.
But instead of just driving the wood in, we'll drizzle some of the low viscosity epoxy in there first. So when we add the wood, we're making essentially a composite, engineered wood, filling in the hole. And then we can re-drill as we need and have a solid attachment where there's a damaged hole instead of one that's useless.
I think Randy was just saying he could use longer screws.
Yeah, well, I'd rather...
Spruce it up?
Yeah, I'd rather spruce it up.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. To be continued.
Two very intelligent men, two different opinions. But those two are so good at working through things and respecting each other's knowledge. I just feel really lucky to have them both on the project and in my life.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
And we're going for 5.5 inches, you said?
Well, 5.5 inches from here.
From here. Oh.
So it's only a couple.
Oh, I gotcha.
So the whole thing has to be 8
Right, because we're making the sill bigger on the
on the
interior.
inside.
Yeah. Looking good, Randy.
It's nice it's over the trash can because I just go like this.
I planned that. That's looking good.
So, I'll just take this piece, put it over, let's see which way it goes. This one was here. I'll just put this like this, and I'll just route it around.
That's so good. How deep are we going?
I don't know. I think 8 inches is too much.
Yeah. How thick's our wall going to be?
Well, the walls are right here, and the windows we can measure them. So there's the styrofoam. So that's 5.5.
Okay.
And you're going to have a 1/2 inch of sheetrock. Okay. So that would be 6. And then you got 3/4 of an inch of his 1x4s are pressure treated. So that's 6 3/4.
Yeah.
And then the siding's probably going to be 1.5 inches.
So that's 7
3/4.
That's more than 7 3/4. You said 6 3/4 plus 1.5 inches. It's 7 3/4, 8 1/4. Right?
So saying 8,
Yeah.
I don't know if we want it flush with the outside. I think we got to see what the trim is.
Right.
So that the trim is homogenized in with the siding. However, that's going to play out. But I want to have pressure treated on the outside. If it's, we're just going to tack it all in.
Yeah.
Because if it's too proud this way, I could just take the planer and
Yeah. Or we can just trim it thicker on the inside or whatever. Yeah, we can do it. Cool. Thanks for explaining that. We put the window up in the space that we made for it just to make sure it actually fits. And it looks like it will frame in nicely. So now it's time to put the glass back in it after Randy's work. Exciting! So this is the window after Randy put the extensions on it so it would fit into the wall. And let's measure and see how thick it is. So it's 4 5/8 this way. And it's just got a little lip on there. I thought we decided we needed to be 8.5 inches wide. It's only 6 1/4. Huh. It's been a while since I've worked on the round window. I forgot that Randy said he was going to wait
and install pressure treated wood for the exterior. And we won't be able to know what depth that will be until we know the dimensions of the round trim that we're trying to order. So I guess I'll just work on it till it's up to that point. And then circle back to this round window project. See what I did there? It looks like there's a few drips of glue in here that I'll need to sand off before we put the glass in. I kept burning out sanders, so Jim got me a new one, and it's really big.
It don't fit in here.
How did I put that on there? Yeah. Okay. Found this instead. This should do it. Lovely. My sister knitted this hat for me. She's a really good knitter, but how big do you think my head is, sis? Maybe I'll just do this. Now that it's dry from the primer that I put on the extension, I'm going to clean the glass before we put the glass in. There's a little bit of paint overspray on this from before we had it. And I have the pieces numbered, so I'm trying to be careful not to accidentally wipe those off, although I do have it numbered around the sides. I just have to remember that the interior is where the number's on top. That makes sense to me. Probably not to you, but I think I won't have a problem. So let's just get this cleaned up. I just realized that this piece, this number 2, was a little bit loose. So I went ahead and popped it out, and I'm cleaning it up on the glass, as well as cleaning the old window glazing out. So we have a good place to stick the new window glazing. And it actually is going pretty well. But it always seems like there's one more thing, so maybe we should check this last piece of glass here. That one is in there really solid. No loose places, so I'm not going to mess with that. Okay, I've got everything laid out here. I've cleaned up all my panes of glass, and I've got my window glazing. We're going to go old school this time and use this. You can also use some in a tube. Maybe we'll do that for the exterior just to see how it goes. And I've got my glazing points. So I have cleaned out all of the old glazing from where I'm going to be putting the new glazing in, so it will seal tightly. It's the first time I've done this, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, this feels pretty hard. Not sure it's supposed to be this hard. Maybe it's too cold in here. Labeled my pieces of glass to match each individual spot here, and I did that because I cut the glass myself for most of the pieces, and I am definitely an amateur, so I didn't want to mix them up and have one not fit. I'm going to take these gloves off because these are just rolling. So we're going to roll this up. It feels like really soft clay. Let's see. I know I need space 1. So I'm going to start pushing it in here. The window glazing would warm up in my hands, but then it got stiff when I stuck it into the edges where the glass is going to go. So you can hear in the background that I turned the propane heater on, but it wasn't enough to keep it warm, and I ended up pushing too hard on the glass. So I
have my new piece of glass cut, and I have all the rest of them laid out. And I'm going to put it in slot 1. See if it fits. Looks like we got a good fit. So let's see if this is going to work any better here. Oh, you know what? It's warm in the house here. This just still feels really thick. So I'm going to say maybe it's old. Randy did say he had it for a while. So I actually bought some in a tube to try, just in case that was the case. So I got some window, door, and siding sealant to try, and hopefully it'll be a bit softer and easier to use. So the nozzle comes like this, with the tip sealed at the top, and you unscrew it. You have to cut this part off, then you have to cut this to the size you want. And so when I put it here, I think about right to here is where I'm going to cut it to make it the size, so the bead coming out will be the size of the slot. Woo! That looks pretty good. This is called a caulking gun. Just move this back so that you can put the caulk in. This way. And then you squeeze the handle, and then it pushes the bottom of this up and squeezes the caulk out that end. Since I forgot to press the record button for the first 2 window pieces, I'm showing you here on the third one my process of squeezing the window sealant into the ledge that the glass is going to rest into, tidying up the window sealant so we get a nice seal, cleaning the glass. This was an important step because I'm actually putting 2 panes of glass face to face, so I don't want any smudges on the inside that can't be cleaned. A little bit more gently than the first time, I'm pressing the glass down into the sealant to make a good seal. I know this is a little bit different installation of glass pieces, as I'm putting 2 pieces of glass together. The blue glass is art glass, and it isn't really rated for windows, I guess. I'm not quite sure. And I'm not quite sure how stained glass fits into this picture because it's also art glass. So just to be safe, I've opted to put window glass in as well. And just FYI, this doesn't make it a double pane window. There's not a sufficient airspace between the glass panes, and it's not sealed enough for that airspace to be insulative. In order to make the requirements of having a double pane, we are going to put a piece of plexiglass on the exterior of this that is sealed, so that will be considered a double pane. Well, plexiglass is not my favorite choice. Sometimes you have to go with what the neighborhood's bringing you, and every once in a while someone gets some broken windows around here, so we might just play it safe. We'll see. There was just enough that kind of splooged out, so the blue glass had a little bit of sealant to seal against the edges too. Now it's time to secure the panes with the window points. And cleaning out the splooge on the other side of the window. One small trick, if you still have some product left in your tube, is to stick an old nail or an old screw you have into the nozzle there. And if you haven't soiled your gloves too much, you can actually use them like a little condom. And you can tie it and then tape it to hopefully keep as much air out as you can. This is the way I learned, actually from Jim. And if you've got another way of doing it, put it in the comments. So when it's time to use it again, hopefully whatever dries sticks to the screw. You unwrap this and pull the screw out, then the stuff behind it should be not dry, so you're kind of like pulling out a plug that has dried. There. Was it the best job I've ever seen? Resoundingly no. Is it even good? That's debatable. Did I learn something and do it myself? Yes, I did. Okay, we are marking out where the island's going to go. Hey, buddy. We are marking out where the island's going to go so that Craig, the electrician, knows where to wire in the pendant lights. So, here we go. Center of the two rectangles. I was thinking we could plumb mob it up and then mark it up there.
Gets another use. Front door light, coffee bar lights, kitchen lights, chandelier, not yet.
Craig, how's things going? So first of all, good morning. Things are going pretty well. Tying in some fire alarm, running some light circuits, stapling everything for code. Doing some straightening up this morning. Pulled the range circuit and the EV charging circuit. So that was pretty productive yesterday and today.
Building the highways for those electrons.
Of course, you know. So I'm gonna tie in a few boxes, close up a few boxes. Got the unit here wired, ready to go. The dehumidifier circuit back there is ready to go. Like I said, I think by Monday everything should be dressed up and pretty good. Purchase some lights, and then you actually can have the lights on in the basement. I don't want to turn on no more than that. No power or nothing, but it'll be nice to have some switch lights in here. So
A switch for lights in the basement? My goodness, we're getting sophisticated now.
yeah, I think I may get that done.
That'd be sweet.
But besides that, yeah, just chugging along. Progress is good.
That's good. Well, you got lots of dangly wires.
Yeah, we get these in. This is for our smoke. This is for a light. There'll be a light here. Tying into the light here. It'll be 3 down. I guess the east wall. 1 on this wall here in that area. So you ample lighting. I think more. A ton of light. Probably be able to sunbathe down here once these lights gets in. So.
Wow. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. And as usual,
Hit that like and subscribe button. Make Lindsay happy.